Wednesday on the news at 6.
3 years since I first met you?
Yeah.
What has changed in 3 years?
A story about making the most out of a second chance.
I know for a fact people could change. You know what I'm saying? Looking at change, right, Joe?
I've seen it. I've seen people change their lives.
From decades in prison to a national honor, it's a KSAT follow-up, 3 years in the making.
What's it mean to you to be able to say all of that?
I want to help guys that was like me.
It's Wednesday on the news at 6.
And we're taking another look at resilience at 5:14. Okay, resilience is in the dictionary, and this is who should pop up. And we're talking about Christina Pacheco. As a doctoral student, mother, and a survivor.
Christina lost her hands and feet when she went septic shock after giving birth 3 years ago. As our Stephania Jimenez reports, she's turned her experience into a bigger purpose.
And I'm still being a mom. I'm still playing my role as a wife, as a daughter, as a friend, and I'm still living life.
And thriving. So much has happened since Christina Pacheco shared her story with KSAT 2 years ago. She's had multiple surgeries and readjusted her life. Now she's also an advocate for those with limb loss. She volunteers and works part-time as a school psychologist.
And the lives that she touches every day.
Get ready with me to go to my son's soccer practice.
She also shares her adventures on social media with a special purpose.
So that other people could also see that people with disabilities are able to do all of these things.
Not that any of it has been easy.
There was a period where after this all happened and I got home, I look around and I would see just basic things like the dishwasher or the kitchen or, you know, the laundry room. And I'm like, I can't do that.
But she's learned to do many of those things since, with help from her loving parents, husband, and 2 beautiful kids.
But I also want to show that it's all about what you find as a motivator, and it's all about how you yourself internally, how mentally strong you are.
And because of that strength, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons awarded Christina the Patient of Courage Award.
When you see her, when you speak to her, like you can't even, you can't even dwell on it because she's really moved on. I mean, she's helping other people. She is an inspiration, not only to us, but others in the community.
And Christina's not slowing down anytime soon. She says she wants people with any health challenge to get help because she's proof that things can get better.
Whether that's reaching out to a friend, to a family member, to a therapist, I think that is something so important of mental health, is that knowing that you're not alone.
Okay, let's go back outside with TransGuide. Take a look at the roads this morning. If you're heading out the door right now, we don't detect many issues here around the city of San Antonio. In fact, everything's moving smoothly here along I-35. At least near to downtown, which is a good thing. Also, of course, we had the crash yesterday at Fine Silver Curve. That has since been cleaned up and everything is good there. This is 410 at Callahan and 410 at Military Drive. Traffic is moving smoothly early this morning. We look at the maps and we don't see much red. In fact, it's all green around the area except right up here along I-35 where we do have some construction that's going to slow you down a little bit. That is outbound. And a little bit earlier, we did have some construction along 151, but that has since gone away as well. So we've got smooth sailing there. So if you look at the inbound times, everything's green, which is like what we like to see. Alex, though, is at a crash, I believe, at 410 and 90. Let's check in with him.
Yeah, good morning, Justin. And now we do have a wrecker on scene, so we are in the clearing stages now, and this is going to be on the west side, 410 southbound, right before you get to Highway 90. But we do have a bigger SAPD presence, so 2 of the right lanes are now blocked. We only have that left lane getting by now, Justin.
Alex, thank you for that update. That is the one crash that we have out there this morning, so be careful if you're in that area. Outside here around San Antonio, we've got temperatures right now at 74. Humidity, this is an important number here. I mean, it is high, 91%, 97% in New Braunfels. So we are starting off very muggy. And there could even be a little bit of fog in the area. 72 New Braunfels, 68 right now in Bernie. Let's check in on those visibilities. And so far, so good. I don't see a lot of issues with fog, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some of these numbers come down, at least briefly this morning. And I say briefly because we do actually have a frontal boundary that is starting to shift into the hill country. You're starting to see the dew points drop in places like Fredericksburg and Rock Springs, but still very high with a dew point of 72 here in San Antonio. That is not October-like whatsoever. But this front does come through. We'll see a wind shift a little bit later this morning, and then the drier air will kind of lag behind that. But it does get here, and I think lower humidity really kicks in by midday. And certainly into the afternoon, you're going to see these numbers drop. And by dinner time, we'll be in the dry category. It'll feel so much better outside. And we'll start off Wednesday with low humidity, too. So our forecast hour by hour today, yeah, maybe a little bit of fog this morning. Mostly cloudy by 8 o'clock, 72. Noontime, 83. I think we're clearing out at that point. It'll be mostly clear. And then, yes, lower humidity by the afternoon. Still, we're up near 90, 89. Here in San Antonio today, so it will still be rather warm. All right, let's talk about that rain chance. And you're going to hear a lot about this in the coming days. Upper level low moves in from the Pacific, the West Coast. And by Thursday evening, I think we're starting to see some storms across parts of West Texas. Not here yet, but by Friday, especially Friday, late Friday afternoon, Friday evening, I think we're starting to see some storms drift a little closer to San Antonio. Our best chance is going to be Friday night as some of these storms work their way in. And then we should see these clear the area by Saturday midday. That's the hope anyway. Now, the timing is going to really depend on how fast this low moves, but that's kind of the thinking. And then by Saturday evening, we would get skies to clear. Now, keep in mind, too, there could be a couple strong storms here, but I've put 40% chance Friday evening, 40% chance Friday night, and then a 30% chance mainly early on Saturday. So this could affect Friday night football, could affect your Friday night plans. We'll keep you posted for sure. And I've made the 7-day and 8-day forecast today, and here's why. Because you look at the extended here, yes, there are those rain chances Friday and Saturday. But Tuesday of next week, maybe a good fall front. It's looking that way, that we could see actually some maybe highs in the 70s by the middle part of next week.
What?
We can deal with that. Now, it's still a ways out. Things could change, but that's the thinking right now. So there's some good news in this extended forecast.
So possibly not a hot Halloween.
Possibly.
Am I saying that too soon?
Possibly. No, I'm going to let that slide, Sarah. I'm going to let that slide. All right. Our test Justin the question this morning. If you're a baseball fan and you were watching the playoff game last night, you will know this answer. But which Major League Baseball team has the fewest World Series appearances? Is it the Padres, the Mariners, the Tampa Bay Rays, or the Colorado Rockies?
Man.
Go to KSAT.com/poll, scan the QR code. Where are my baseball fans at?
That's a hard question.
Yeah. I'm leaning on
Or is
the
it? Is it? I don't know.
It is, but if you're watching last night, it was not.
Right. I only watched the Astros, and they're not in it this time. All right, thanks, Justin. It is 5:22, 74 degrees.
Waymo in trouble under the microscope. We got a self-driving taxi. May have broken some school bus laws, and we're going to tell you all about it, what this could mean for the future of autonomous rides.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple nears the $4 trillion mark. The company's stock is at a record high after a report showing iPhone 17 sales up 14% over their first 10 days of availability compared to iPhone 16. Strong sales in China and the U.S. led to upgrades from stock analysts. Safety regulators have launched an investigation into Waymo's robo-taxis after video showed a driverless car failing to stop for a school bus with flashing lights. Officials say there's a high likelihood of similar incidents occurring. Waymo says it's already implemented safety improvements. And SpaceX is falling behind schedule as the U.S. tries to return to the moon. So NASA plans to move on by opening up the contract to other companies. Blue Origin, owned by Jeff Bezos, along with Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, will now have a shot at building a new lunar lander. Those are your Tech Bites.
All right, 5:25 right now. We're looking at 74 degrees outside. October, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. 1 in 3 Texans face it. And we're going to show you how a local shelter is fighting back, but is now facing funding cuts. How you can help next. Plus, we got a federal court giving the green light for troops to deploy this morning, while the Trump administration says it's moving forward. Coming up on 5:30 right now. Happy Tuesday, and thanks so much for waking up with us on GMSA.
Good morning. It's October 21st. Justin, rain, and possibly a cooler Halloween.
Finally.
Whoa.
Sweater weather.
You said almost. You said it's October 21st. It does not feel like October 21st at all if you're stepping outside right now. But yes, there is hope in the future, I promise. It's looking better and better. Let's start with the dew point map here. And dew points are in the low 70s. And for late October, this is not cool at all. This is not what you would expect. It is very, very muggy, very sticky out there, but you'll notice there is a front on the map, and this front does slide through today. In fact, we'll get a wind change this morning. It'll take until midday, though, for these humidity levels to really drop. So let's get you out to the bus stop for the kiddos who are leaving early this morning. Temperatures, yes, will be in the 70s to start. It will be muggy. We'll see some clouds, humid and warm, but much lower humidity by the afternoon. 89, it's still a hot day, but you take some of that humidity out of the picture, it gets a little bit better for, say, after school practice, football, soccer, whatever you got going on. Not great, but better. And as we look at rain chances, this is the other bit of good news. Friday night, a 40% chance of rain. We could see some storms. There could be some good rainfall totals. We'll discuss those coming up. And we could see some lingering showers into Saturday. We'll get into all of this forecast for you coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, in the courtroom this morning, a man convicted in the death of his 12-year-old son will now spend the next 45 years in prison. 35-year-old Derek Coles found guilty of injury to a child. That's a first-degree felony, and his son, Danilo Coles, died in February of 2022. Investigators saying that he was beaten and burned. They blamed Derek Coles and his now ex-wife, who was Danilo's stepmom. After the sentencing, Derek Coles' mother opened up about what she thought about the case.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. And this did happen on his watch. It did. But at the same time, let justice be served on all sides, not just one.
Prosecutors say that the boy's stepmother, Capri Cheatham, also abused him, and she is also facing charges, but is being tried separately. She's expected back in court on the 31st.
Hey there, good morning, San Antonio. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. 1 in 3 Texans will experience domestic violence. Females between 16 to 24 experience it at a higher rate. It is why the work done at places like the Kendall County Women's Shelter is so important. And listen, unfortunately, their funding is diminished due to federal and state cuts. Shelter CEO Holly Aldridge is proud of the services they provide to an average of 220 plus clients every year. That includes an average of 5-month stay so survivors can get on their own feet after leaving an abusive relationship. And they also get counseling, legal advocacy, food, and education. Right now, more than half of their clients, 52%, come from Bexar County, and they get no funding from the Bexar County government agencies.
A lot of our funding comes from individual donors and corporations and churches. We do have some funding through the government, but a lot of it is donation. And then the flooding that just happened recently in Kerr County has definitely affected us because some of our funding came from some of the foundations in Kerrville, and they decided to direct their funding to the flood victims, as they should.
Now, if you want to help the shelter continue helping others, there's a pillow fund drive happening right now. It supports the mission of providing a warm pillow and a safe place for families. You can head to KSAT.com right now and search Kendall County and see how you can help them continue their mission.
Day 1 of early voting for November 4th election is in the books, and just over 10,000 of you already casted your ballot.
A downtown Spurs Arena and Eastside Rodeo District are on Bexar County ballots. Voters in Bexar County will decide whether to use a venue tax on hotel stays and short-term car rentals to help fund the project. So Proposition A would redevelop the Spurs' current Eastside home, would turn the Frostbank Center, Freeman Coliseum, and surrounding area into a year-round stock show and rodeo district.
And then there's Proposition B, and that would help pay for the new Spurs arena. It's a key part of the city's wider plans for a sports and entertainment district, which you know as Project Marvel. The money from Bexar County only covers a portion of that arena's $1.3 billion cost, but the larger funding scheme relies on it passing. We've been asking Spurs leadership and representatives what the team will do if the current deal falls through.
Our message today is that we're asking all the voters to go out yes for Prop A and Prop B. We're excited that it's going to pass, and we're looking forward to passage on Prop A and Prop B.
The team hasn't addressed what it will do if the ballot measure fails. And remember, don't wear Spurs or rodeo gear to the polls. Both are part of ballot measures, so wearing gear associated with them can be seen as electioneering, which is illegal. So if you show up with Spurs or rodeo clothes, the poll workers may ask you to take it off or turn your clothes inside out.
Got another reminder again, if you're looking at your screen, we've been highlighting these dates for a long time now, but in case you have forgotten them, here are those election dates. Again, KSAT, your election home. We've got these dates and everything else that you need to know about. That QR code on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Scan it and figure out what you need to do to let your voice be heard.
And in case you missed it, we aired a special takeover last week focused on a new Spurs arena. Who pays, the arguments for and against the plan, and what's happened in other cities when pro teams want new homes. You can watch that special on demand on KSAT.com and KSAT Plus. Well, a woman suffers significant injuries to her lower back after a San Antonio police vehicle slammed into her SUV. 6 months later, Denise Martinez says the wreck has caused significant damage to her personal life. That includes a loss of employment and having to move out of her home after falling behind on her bills. She's asking the city to settle her claim so she can get back to living normally.
Every attorney I've talked to has told me, good luck, the city takes their time, they don't care.
Tonight on the Night Beat, city officials give their side and contend this crash was not preventable.
Switching gears to your morning headlines, we got a federal appeals court cleared the way for President Donald Trump and the administration to move forward with deploying National Guard troops in Portland, Oregon. Now, the three-judge panel said that the administration is likely to succeed in its appeal of the lower court order that blocked the deployment. Well, the president cited violent attacks from anti-ICE agitators outside Portland's Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility as a justification for sending in the troops. Also, we got more coming your way with Sean Diddy Combs fighting back against his conviction and prison sentence. Now, the music mogul's legal team has filed an appeal challenging both the conviction and his federal prostitution case and the 50-month sentence handed down earlier this month. Now, Combs says that the judge was wrong to weigh allegations tied to charges that he was acquitted of, including racketeering and sex trafficking claims. At sentencing, the judge said that he had to consider Combs' full conduct, noting that he continued troubling behavior even after the federal raids on his properties. Combs has been in custody since his arrest that happened in September of 2024.
Out on the roads this morning, there are not a lot of issues. As we look at the big map here, there is a slowdown here on I-35. This is due to construction. This is outbound. The inbound is still doing okay. And then we do have that one crash, which Alex has been reporting there along 410 on the city's west side. There's a construction slowdown, so we do have slow traffic. Moving up I-35 on the northeast side, roughly to about Topperwine or so. And then there is that incident on the far west side. That is 410 and 90. That is where Alex Gomez is. Let's check in with him there.
Yeah, good morning, Justin. So 410 southbound right now has 2 right lanes closed, but right now both cars are on record, so this should be clearing soon, Justin.
Good news, Alex. Thank you so much for that report. And let's go outside with live cam. It is 5:37, 74 degrees, a warm, muggy morning. Yes, there is rain on the way, and we're getting a better idea of just how much rain we may receive. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Well, they're answering emergency calls, but not seeing a dime. Local military base firefighters furloughed by the government shutdown are still showing up to protect their communities. Up next, how one veterans group is igniting a different kind of support when our heroes need help themselves.
And the crash on the west side is slowly clearing out this morning, so I'm going to get back on the roadways and give you more traffic updates coming up after the break.
Well, federal workers at a local military-based fire department are now furloughed because of the government shutdown.
So they still have to work, but they're not getting their paychecks. And as our Courtney Freeman reports, they saw firsthand how local veterans organizations are stepping up to help.
We can go get them Friday and we can either hand them out.
These men put their lives on the line even when they're not getting paid.
Well, even though people are shut down and going home, we still have to show up every day. We don't get to make business decisions. We have to actually show up and still fight fire, respond to any medical emergencies and stuff like that.
Jesse Rico is a firefighter at Lackland Air Force Base and the president of the Firefighters Association for Lackland, Randolph, and Fort Sam Houston. All these people in the category of furloughed federal workers.
How long has it been since you've gotten a paycheck?
We're probably going on about a month. We actually work a 48 on schedule and 48 off, so it's a 144-hour work week.
Do you have a family at home?
Yes, I do.
You have kids?
Yes, I have several kids too.
Lackland Fire Inspector Derek Ramsey has a family of 5.
So me not be able to be there for them that financially the way I'm supposed to, it kind of hurts.
$100 HB go.
He joined his brothers in the Federal Fire Service today at the San Antonio Coalition for Veterans and Families, which gave out $100 HEB gift cards. The nonprofit addresses emergency needs of military members and veterans.
Because we saw in the community there was a lot of need that there's just so much red tape.
Over the years, the coalition has paid for hundreds of clients' hotels, groceries, even utility bills. Now, Director Tony Fuentes and his street team are focused on furloughed workers.
I know $100 is not a lot, but it's going to help them.
The San Antonio Coalition, solid. I mean, it's a godsend.
They do utility assistance. Would you accept that help as well?
Oh, yes, yes. A lot of our members have actually been using that already as well, and it's been a blessing, truly.
While they live day to day, they want the government to see how this shutdown is affecting real people.
My hands up in the air, I'm like, okay, how hard is it to make a budget? You know, we teach this in elementary school, making a budget. Do it.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
5:46 right now. Today, San Antonio Public Library getting spooky with a series of Halloween events. And it's happening from 4 to 7 p.m. at the San Pedro Library for Monsters and Makeup with Miguel, a professional makeup artist, Miguel Cantu, who has over 20 years of experience in film, will give a live demonstration of monster makeup and the prosthetics that go with it. The same evening from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Westfall Branch Library, there will be a screening of the classic horror film Alien. And lastly, from 6 to 7:30 p.m., the Palm and Branch Library will host a Halloween festival. We got all that Halloween events checking out at mysapl.org for more.
Sounds like fun. All right, let's go outside with your traffic authority and look at the map here again. And really, it's all good news. If you remember yesterday, it was kind of a mess, right? Because we had the fine silver curve blocked for several hours yesterday. That has since been cleaned up, and we're good to go there. There are some slowdowns outbound I-35, and this is purely construction issues, and you're used to that if you travel along I-35. The map is still showing that crash out there along 410 and 90, but as Alex was reporting, that is quickly cleared. So yes, it's still showing this and still showing a few slowdowns there in the southbound lanes of 410, but I think this will be remedied rather soon. And speaking of that, let's check in with Alex and see what he is seeing. You're out about now, right, Alex?
Yeah, that's right, Justin. That west side accident has cleared. All lanes are back open on 410 southbound, so I'm back on the roadways over here. I'm headed towards downtown, but I'm going to go check out the east side, and I'll let you know what I see out there, Justin.
Alex, we appreciate you, man. All right, let's take a look at the stat of the day when it comes to weather, and this one's pretty astounding. It has been 43 days since we've had more than 1/100 of an inch of rain, meaning any sort of significant rainfall. You got to go back 43 days. That is one heck of a dry stretch, and it really has done a number on our farmers, on our soil, on our aquifer, you name it. It's just been a bad stretch. And, you know, September and October are months where we kind of rely on rain, and it just hasn't materialized. Good news here is we do finally have some in the forecast. You go Friday, Friday night, Saturday. This is our window here. 40% chance Friday evening. Friday night's probably our best chance if I had to label that, and then 30% chance I think early on Saturday. So let's look at the futurecast here, and there's a low that's going to move on shore from the Pacific. It'll create some showers and storms across the Intermountain West, and then by Thursday I think we'll see some storms across West Texas, not here yet, And then by the time we get into Friday, that's when things start to develop. We get moisture coming in from the Gulf, which should create a few showers maybe Friday afternoon. The bulk of the action will still be off to our north and west. But this should start to move in Friday night. With it, I think we could see some storms, maybe a couple of strong storms. Again, it's a little too early to talk severe weather just yet, but that is something I would think about. Of course, we have Friday night football. You may have Friday night plans. This is a forecast you want to watch. And then as we get into midnight, shows maybe the bulk of the action coming through with that pushing east by Saturday morning. And then I think by Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon, most of this would be pushing east and maybe we can get some clearings. That's the latest thinking right now. How much rain? Well, I think that the highest totals are going to be to our north and northeast, but we could see up to an inch of rain. I'd say San Antonio points north. Further south you go, the lower the numbers would be. But if everyone could get in on at least a little bit of rain, that would be fantastic. Again, I think the highest odds are going to be in the hill country, but if we could get up to an inch of rain in those areas, that would be great. We don't want flooding, of course, but any sort of rain would be good. Right now, 74 in San Antonio, 72 at Stinson, 73 at Port SA. It's a warm, it's muggy. Warm, muggy morning out there, and dew points will fall, I promise. I know dew points are in the 70s right now. It feels so sticky out there. But by noontime, dew points are falling into the 60s, and then that humid air will be pushed further south by the afternoon. And I think by dinner time, you'll find dew points in the low 50s, and that puts us in the pleasant category. It'll feel much better, and especially as we get into tonight and going into tomorrow morning. Very quickly, I did want to touch on that wave. Actually, this is going to be Tropical Storm Melissa here very soon, looking better and better. But the spaghetti plots do curve this back to the north and east. I think this could affect Haiti and Dominican Republic, maybe Cuba. Those will be the areas that will be affected by a potential tropical storm or hurricane as this bends back out towards the Atlantic. All right, extended forecast. 86 tomorrow, 89 Thursday. Clouds return. You see the rain chances there Friday into Saturday. Clears out on Sunday. And then we may get a stronger front next week. It could really knock temperatures down Tuesday into Wednesday. Excited about that. All right, our Just Ask Justin question has to do with baseball. If you were watching baseball last night, we don't have any votes.
I was going to say either something's wrong or people are on the same boat that we're on.
Where are my baseball fans at? Okay, so which Major League Baseball team has the fewest World Series appearances? Is it the San Diego Padres, the Seattle Mariners, Tampa Bay Rays, or Colorado Rockies? You can go to KSAT.com/poll, scan the QR code, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think too, so I can select with you.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
So.
All right, it is 5:52 right now, 74 degrees outside.
Police say this suspect had a blockbuster side hustle, literally thousands of stolen Lego sets uncovered inside his home. How investigators pieced together the black market operation. That's next.
5:55 right now. It's become an annual tradition at Starbucks. The coffee chain officially announcing the day for its Red Cup Day. It will be Thursday, November the 13th, where customers can receive a reusable red holiday cup when they buy a holiday beverage at participating stores.
Well, police in California say they've built this case one brick at a time. A man in Santa Rosa is accused of running a black market for Legos. Investigators found tens of thousands of pieces and unopened sets piled through his home. Officers say he bought stolen Legos at a discount and then sold them for profit. The 39-year-old is now facing felony charges, including retail theft, and may have to spend some time building a new life behind bars.
Well, there you go. Okay, Cabal ISD doing something great, hosting an annual college, career, and military fair tomorrow, happening from 6 to 8 p.m. The Donovan High School will welcome about 70 recruiters from colleges, businesses, trade schools, and military branches, where students in grades 8 through 12 and their parents can meet with recruiters to gather important information to help plan for their futures. Again, another great chance for students to explore some options and make some decisions about their college, career, and military service.
All right, it's 5:56, 74 degrees.
3.5 months after the deadly Hill Country flood, families still seek closure. Where this search is moving, still ahead.
Plus, should gun laws change for drug users? What the Trump administration is arguing as this case heads to court.
And photojournalist Alex Gomez on the roadways, covering all of your commutes this morning. Him and Justin got your traffic down packed. Stick around. GMSA at 6 starts in a couple minutes.